Are you one of the 75% of contractors whose financial statements are inaccurate? Find out. Click on the link in the show notes and you'll get a free P&L and balance sheet check.
This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Financially Fit Business. Get the business tool that helps you grow profitably, build wealth, and significantly impact your life and the lives of your employees. Go to www.financiallyfit.business and get started today. Thank you for joining us. Here's how we will help your business and you. Most contractors and small business owners use bank financing. A requirement is almost always a personal guarantee of the loans. However, there is a financing method where you don't have to personally guarantee loans. My guest today, Brian Trask, Regional Managing Partner of jgalt.io, will tell you how. Brian, welcome to Contractor Sense.
Hi, Ruth. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Where do we be? I think we got to start with jgalt because Brian and I had a conversation before the recording of this podcast, and we went through where the company name came from and everything else along those lines. And I didn't put the two and two together, but if any of you've read Ayn Rand's book Atlas Shrugged, you'll recognize jgalt. And I never put the two together. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And for those of you who don't know, John Galt is a fictional character in the book Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, who, to put it simply, saves small businesses. So he is who we have themed the company after.
Right. And wasn't it your dad who had the bumper sticker jgalt, who was jgalt or something like that?
Yeah, it was my uncle, but close guess, Ruth. So when I was, like 10 or 11 years old, my uncle had a bumper sticker on his car that I've seen since. So some of you might know that bumper sticker, and it says, "Who is John Galt?" which is the catchphrase of the book. So, I'm guessing one of your listeners has probably seen that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure they have. Now that you and I have talked about it, I'm sure I'm going to say it. It's just, that's normally how things happened. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So your founder decided that he would be, i.e. John Galt, and save small businesses. So how do you guys do that?
That's a great question, Ruth. So jgalt is first and foremost a SaaS product, right? So SaaS meaning software as a service. So it's a software that our clients get access to. And there is a consultative piece in there as well. So they meet with us monthly. In the software, you can check all of your pre-qualified corporate trade lines. So that's important, right? And what we're doing with the client is we are building their business credit score for one. And then for two, we want to get them to tier 4 lending. Because some people can build a business score fairly quickly, but your business score doesn't mean much if you don't have access to the capital, right? And that is the key goal, is to have access to lots of capital without personal guarantees, personal collateral.
Right. So, you and I were talking about the fact that this is business lending. It does not matter if your personal score is 200. It matters what your business score is.
That's correct. So one of my friends is a small business banker, and he was, very awestruck when I was talking to him about this, because he was like, "Brian, are you telling me if somebody has a FICO score of $500, but their company looks credible to bureaus, that they'll get access to all this cheap money?" And I said, yes, because the company is getting access, the individual isn't.
So those of you who've had lousy credit scores but pay your bills on time for the business have an opportunity.
Yep.
So that and if you think about it, when I mentioned this in the introduction, when you go to a bank, the bank is going to look at your personal FICO score, and they're going to make a decision, especially for small business owners, on your personal FICO score rather than how well the business is doing most of the time.
Yep.
Who shall I get another yep?
Well, it's funny, Ruth, because so a lot of people don't understand this, that there's three main types of credit, and those three are personal, business, and corporate. Um, Personal is, exactly what you would think, and then business is actually a hybrid of your personal credit, but linked to a business bank account or something, right? But on business credit cards, if any of your listeners, if you have a business, take out your credit card, and if it says business credit, that has a personal guarantee on it. If it says corporate credit card, that is a corporate trade line with no personal guarantee attached. So there's very distinct differences on those three.
So if you're applying for a new credit card, let's say, with MasterCard or Visa or American Express, and you want to do it as a corporate credit card, then, correct?
Well, that's ideally what you want, but you have to make sure that you are working with the correct lenders. And I say that because there's a lot of different business types. People are getting corporate credit for several different avenues, and depending on your score, you can't just get, a broad line of credit in for every lender. And we want to make sure the lender that we match you with reports to business credit bureaus, because that way your entity will get credit and it will get the positive payment history and positive experiences that build your credit. Only 7% of lenders, unfortunately, report positive payment experiences to business credit bureaus. Obviously, everyone's happy to report a negative experience,
Yeah,
but
unfortunately.
with on the business end, it's extra time and money, so not as many lenders are doing it. So you won't, that's part of why people work with us, is we know the lenders for several trades and things, and that is a big component. I always encourage people to ask, and the key word is corporate. Make sure you're getting a corporate trade line. Those do not have personal guarantees. They're not easy to get, but that's what every business should be utilizing.
Got it. Okay. Before we take a break, Brian, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they do it?
That's a great question. Also, I would say I do have a website, which is www.jgalt.io/ my first initial B as in Brian and my last name Trask, Trask. So jgalt.io/btrask. You can book an appointment with me on there. I have a free ebook on there as well, and there's a lot of material on my website to review. And then once we book an appointment, we can learn a little bit more about the goals that you have for your business and if I'm able to help you.
Very good. All right. We will be right back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. Imagine you had total freedom. You didn't have to worry about money. You didn't have to be a slave to your business. The words, I can't, are eliminated from your vocabulary. What if you could do what you want to do, whenever you want to do it? A financially fit business could give you that freedom. How? By knowing what your financial statements are telling you and taking action based on what they say. You can do this in less than 10 minutes a month, at an investment of less than taking your family out to dinner once a month. And if your financial statements are a mess, you can get help. Go to www.financiallyfit.business or click on the QR code below to get started today. We're back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I'm speaking with Brian Trask, who is the regional managing partner of jgalt.io. And before the break, we were talking about the differences between personal, business, and corporate credit. And I'm curious. All right, let's assume that somebody, makes an appointment on your website and you and that person start talking. How long does it normally take? I know there's no crystal ball, but how long does it normally take for somebody to actually get corporate credit?
That's a great question, Ruth. So the benchmark that we stand by is 12 months. Now, I say that because every business is a little bit different. For instance, if it's a newer business, there's a lot more setting up that we have to do with them. If it's a more established business, it usually can take less than a year. So you could maybe benchmark 9 months. The reason for that is because we are scaling the amount of credit that you are getting access to throughout that year. And we need to make sure you have lots of positive payment experiences to boost your credit, right?
Uh-huh.
So people, as I mentioned, can fairly quickly get your score up, your business credit score. But like I said, is if you don't have access to lots of capital, it doesn't matter that much. So that's the key thing, is working with us, and we're reporting all sorts of transactions that your business is doing anyway, that you're not getting credit for, right? Your payroll, your accounts receivable, purchase orders, your rent, your utilities. So sometimes there's a third-party partner we work with to get those things reported, depending on the business and how you have your business set up. But when we're reporting all of these things that you're doing anyways, it makes your business look so much more credible, that you could have $100,000 a month flowing in and out of your business, or $500,000 a month flowing in and out of your business anyways, that now business credit bureaus can see, oh, wow, ABC Plumbing Company is, has a lot of money going in and out, a lot of positive experiences. They are eligible to get more capital and without a personal guarantee.
Cool. All right. So you can plan on taking somewhere between 9 months and a year. Is there a size business that they won't look at and they'll have to be personal or business loans?
I mean, I can work with any business or any entity, I should say, right? So there's some nonprofits we've worked with, even a church. And I say that because we work off of your EIN number, right? So your EIN number is the tax ID number for a business entity, just like your social security number is the tax ID number for you as an individual. So that EIN, no matter what type of business it is, and as long as it's up and running and there's transactions, we can work with you.
Okay. So it doesn't say you have to be bigger than 1 million or bigger than 2 million or anything like that.
No, but depending on how much money you have going in and out is how much money you will get approved for by lenders, right? So,
Yeah.
if you're only doing $200,000 a year,
You're not getting much.
yeah, you're not gonna get 5 million in credit lines with no guarantees. Um, One of our case studies, though, they were doing $2.5 million a year in revenue, and when we looked at their report, they only had access to $10,000 in corporate credit lines when we started working with them. It was $10,600, which for a business that's well established, doing $2.5 million a year in revenue, I mean, that's pretty bad. But now that they have all these things reporting to bureaus and they're working with the right lenders, they have $1.1 million in corporate credit trade lines. They have no personal guarantees, so they are able to expand their business. The owner is completely financially separated from the business entity, right? Whether the business is doing great or bad, the business owner and his finances are not affected.
Well, that's good because there's so many times that, you break the quote unquote corporate shield because you have to personally guarantee a loan or something like that. And then it's gone. I mean, anybody can get you.
Right, exactly. And even a lot of people are they're using their home equity as a personal guarantee, or their house or something like that, right? And that's a very risky move, because even if you pay your mortgage on time, if your business goes belly up for whatever reason, that means that you've promised a lender your home. Um, and I know a lot of people are just looking for other capital, and it's tricky and it's really hard. And I personally bankrupted myself in my first business by using personal guarantees, which is why doing this and helping people out really spoke to me, is because I walked in their shoes at one point in my life.
Yeah. And once you've done it, it makes it okay. I've done it. I survived. I'm doing well. You can survive and do well again yourself too.
Yep, exactly. And unfortunately, Ruth, the people who are really quick to come join us are unfortunately people that have already been through this at one point in their life. And they understand it. They understand the risks and the value that this brings, more than somebody who hasn't been down that dark path.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I would say if you're somebody who has a business and you're looking to expand your business and you're looking to not be personally financially responsible for anything in your business, then book a call with me and I'm happy to go over some of the highlights of what you're trying to do. And we can even look at your business credit score and what you are already approved for. And that way you'll at least know where you stand if you want to come join us or if you don't.
Very good. And the website is jgalt.io/btrask, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
All right. Brian, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right. And thanks to all of you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email Ruth King at hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.